Parks and Recreation Master Planning, presented by the Institute for Public Administration at the University of Delaware. Parks, recreation facilities and programs, and open public space are vital components of a complete community. For the last half-century, we've been building vehicle-dependent environments that foster obesity, poor health, social isolation, high costs of infrastructure, and focus away from our downtown cores. Planning for parks, recreation facilities, and programs can promote active lifestyles, build healthy communities, and lower healthcare and transportation costs. Well-planned parks provide several community benefits, which we will discuss in this presentation. Active transportation is defined as human-powered modes of transportation. Traditionally, transportation policies have focused on automobiles. This has led to sprawling land use patterns, lack of walkable infrastructure, compartmentalized built environments, less active lifestyles, and greater incidence of chronic diseases and obesity. Planning for parks and recreation infrastructure is closely aligned with the goals of active transportation principles. Parks and recreation infrastructure such as trails, shared use paths, bikeways, and other amenities provide opportunities for people to walk, bike, and opt for non-motorized transportation in safe places. Well-designed parks also provide countless health benefits to residents. Physical activity is critical to good health, and parks provide a venue in which physical activity can occur. People exercise more when they have access to open space, parks, trail systems, and other recreation facilities and programs. Regular physical activity can improve health and reduce the risk of obesity and chronic diseases such as heart disease, hypertension, colon cancer, and diabetes. Exercise and active lifestyles can also provide psychological benefits, improve mental health, and alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety. Studies show that well-planned parks and recreation systems can serve as a catalyst for economic development. Access to parks and recreation facilities and active transportation infrastructure can increase property values, foster job creation, and provide a foundation for place-based economic development. Parks, if well-planned, have the ability to attract consumers to nearby downtown regions, spur the opening of local businesses, and increase tourism. Well-planned parks also provide environmental benefits. Parks and recreation infrastructure and facilities promote conservation and environmental sustainability. Parks and greenways conserve natural resources and wildlife habitat, protect air and water quality, and preserve open space for current and future generations. Through stewardship activities, parks can involve the public in conservation efforts and increase awareness of environmental needs. Parks and open space conserve scenic vistas, maintain healthy ecosystems, and provide carbon-reducing, sustainable landscapes. Parks and recreation facilities also provide social and equity benefits for community members. Public parks provide equal access for all citizens regardless of age, gender, socioeconomic status, ethnicity, or ability. Parks and recreation facilities can foster community pride, bring people together, create destination-oriented places, and connect people to each other and nature. Pocket parks, or small outdoor spaces in urbanized or highly developed areas, provide safe and inviting gathering spots in areas where there are unmet physical and recreation needs of residents, especially children. Now that all of the many benefits of parks and recreation facilities have been explored, it is important to fully understand the master planning process. Master planning is a planning technique that is used for a wide variety of projects. Parks and recreation master planning is a comprehensive process that provides guidance and policy direction to local government decision makers. Delaware local governments should conduct parks and recreation master planning to develop a comprehensive vision for a park system, individual park, open space area, recreation facility, and/or recreation program in context of its location, natural resources, and visions of the community. Master plans allow a local government to assess current and future recreation needs, evaluate feasible options, develop a strategic action plan, and budget for long-term or phased-in development and improvements. Master plans lay out an organizational framework for improving parks and recreation facilities, programs, and services to better serve the public. The master plan shapes the delivery of local government parks and recreation services, programs, and activities in a manner that is consistent with the local government's comprehensive plan and policy agenda. The master planning process provides many benefits to local governments and the communities they serve. The process enables decision makers to prioritize resource allocation decisions for new facilities and rehabilitation projects, programs, and services in a manner that is fiscally responsible, environmentally sound, publicly supported, and politically prudent. Master plans can provide a foundation for building credibility, support, and consensus from community members and stakeholders, informing citizens about a park's needs and its community assets, identifying capital improvement goals that are needed to assess fiscal requirements and fundraising needs, guiding critical decisions about parks and recreation facilities, infrastructure, programs and services, and developing recommendations and an implementation strategy for projects. In order to be successful, master plans should describe how it is or will be consistent with and/or advance the goals of local, county, regional, and state plans, be responsive to the interests of citizens and diverse groups of stakeholders, be implementable, lead to a shared vision for community livability, and provide recommendations for land use policy, parks development and rehabilitation, and natural resource conservation, be adaptable to future changes and conditions, lead to a shared vision for recreation and conservation among all stakeholders, and guide future implementation. Address needs based on the demographics of the community and region, including low-income, minority, and special needs populations. Address the need for ADA accessibility, create opportunities for citizens to connect to open space, greenways, parks, and conservation areas, and foster environmental stewardship, strengthen connections between recreation, healthy lifestyles, and economic benefits in communities, leverage investment of resources, partnerships, and funding, and support environmental sustainability, conservation, and green practices. There are several steps that must be completed in order to create a Parks and Recreation Master Plan. Public involvement is a fundamental part of the master planning process that should be documented and incorporated into all steps of the master planning process. It is recommended that a local government develop a public engagement plan to identify who to involve, how to conduct outreach, and when public participation opportunities should occur throughout the planning process. A Parks and Recreation Board or other advisory committee should be appointed to represent community interests and provide recommendations to elected officials. High-tech public engagement through websites or social media, and high-touch strategies like workshops and focus groups should be considered to involve diverse stakeholders. All workshops, public hearings, and meetings should be advertised and open to the public to uphold the Freedom of Information Act. After a vision is created, a concept plan must be developed. Once a draft plan is developed, it is important for planners to receive feedback through public workshops and hearings and through social media channels. After feedback is taken into consideration and changes are made to fit community preferences, the plan can be adopted and implemented. While not all master planning processes are the same, several vital components to good master plans have been identified. First, municipalities must review existing conditions in order to understand and assess the context of the planning area and environmental conditions. Second, the needs and preferences of the community must be analyzed. Third, after a vision is created for the park system, recreation facilities, and programs, a prioritized action plan should be developed. This action plan should include project descriptions, location, cost estimates, funding strategies, and a timeline for implementation. Finally, an implementation plan should be set forth that addresses the need for funding, supporting revenue, and capital improvements. There are several common problems that may arise in the development of parks master plans. Master plans are often inflexible and fail to evolve to adapt changing community needs and goals. Creating master plans can often be costly, especially if a consultant is hired. However, by pooling resources and expertise, the benefits of planning can greatly outweigh the costs. It is important to keep all stakeholders involved during the entirety of the master planning process. If key players do not agree with the plan, it could fall to the wayside after completion due to lack of consensus. Parks and recreation master plans should complement other state, regional, and local government plans, reflect the vision of the community, and be realistic in terms of local government's finances and funding sources. Master plans may not adequately address the needs to conform to ADA accessibility requirements. ADA requires that newly constructed and altered state and local government facilities, places of public accommodation, including parks and recreation facilities, must be readily accessible to and usable by individuals with disabilities. Every 5 years, a statewide comprehensive outdoor recreation plan is developed. A master plan itself, Delaware SCORP, assesses the public demand for and supply of outdoor recreation resources. SCORP findings are essential in directing public outdoor facility investments that most closely match the public's stated needs. Furthermore, SCORP findings are helpful in guiding planning decisions related to parkland placement, outdoor recreation issues, and planning for the public's preferred recreation facilities. The Fort DuPont State Park and the Brandywine Zoo are two recent examples of parks and recreation master planning by the state of Delaware. In addition, the Delaware Department of Transportation prepared a Delaware Rail-to-Trail and Rail-with-Trail facility master plan, with public input in response to the public interest in developing off-road facilities for bicyclists and pedestrians for both transportation and recreation uses. Because Delaware local governments provide services, programs, and facilities that meet the needs of citizens, it is important that parks and recreation master planning be conducted at the local level and reflect needs of community members. Citizens can provide input as to whether the space will be used for active or passive recreation. Active recreation refers to the structured recreational activities, such as sports leagues, that require specialized parkland development, facilities, and management. Passive park use refers to non-organized recreational activities, such as hiking, that require no specialized development requirements. The City of Newark regularly involves the public in parks and recreation master planning, including during the recent development of Curtis Mill Park. Located on a brownfield site of a former historic paper mill, the park is envisioned as a city gateway. It will provide active and passive recreation, as well as an expansion of the city's pedestrian and bicycle network. The City of Newark has also prepared a master plan for its Pomeroy and Newark Rail Trail. The trail serves both as a recreation and active transportation facility. It expands the existing pedestrian network to a Delaware State Park, improves pedestrian safety and mobility, and provides a connection to park facilities and Newark Central Business District. Designated as a bicycle-friendly community by the League of American Bicyclists, the city has also created a 2014 bicycle plan that focuses on developing a municipal bicycle network, policies, and programs, and also identifies desired links in nearby destinations. The City of Milford's Parks and Recreation Department has leveraged a combination of city, state, and federal funds totaling $5.3 million over a 25-year period to master plan its Mispillion Greenway. Strong support from citizens, the business community, and state and local officials has helped to achieve the vision of a greenway that provides a scenic riverfront bicycle and pedestrian trail system, which provides a link to its business district and has inspired downtown reinvestment. The City of Milford has also created a bicycle and pedestrian paths master plan to better serve its residents. The City of Dover has utilized master planning techniques to develop a bike trail that connects its downtown region to Silver Lake. This path connects key scenic and civic destinations, providing a useful and enjoyable resource to its users. This trail is part of a more extensive Dover and Kent County regional bicycle plan. The City of Lewes revitalized its waterfront property through the development of a master plan for the Lewes Canal Front Park and Marina. Spanning 3 acres adjacent to the Lewes and Rehoboth Canal, this park provides the public with boat ramps, a fishing pier, and a boardwalk, among other amenities. Now open for uses such as leisurely walks and civic gatherings, the park was a sustainable master planning project undertaken by the City of Lewes with public input via workshops, surveys, and interviews. Local governments are using traditional financing and more innovative approaches to generate funds to support parks and recreation capital expenditures. Local governments may fund projects through the use of special assessments, which charges stakeholders who will benefit from the updates or addition of facilities. Parks projects can also be incorporated into capital investment programs that will work to spread out costs over time. User fees can also be utilized to raise revenue. Jurisdictions implementing user fees should establish a fee policy to ensure that charges are fair and equitable for the use of facilities, equipment, and participation in programs. Local governments can also finance large capital recreation projects by seeking approval from citizens for debt financing through a bond referendum or vote. Local governments can leverage local funding by seeking federal or state grants and funding from external sources. This presentation was made possible by the Delaware Department of Transportation and the Delaware Office of State Planning Coordination. This presentation was developed by Stephanie Mallon of the Institute for Public Administration.